Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the quick session about Dynaway EAM in Business Central. Today, I would like to show you the rounds and the inspections functionality. And my name is Krzysztof Belwons, and I will be today talking about this feature in Dynaway EAM. So let's jump to system and let's open Business Central Dynaway EAM. So we are in the asset manager role, and I said that we will talk with the rounds. You already know or seen already the video about the work order plans. So the round plans are very similar. So let's create one round. And when I'm talking about the rounds, we're talking, let's, for example, do lubrication of planetary mixers. So what are the rounds? The rounds is when maintenance team needs to go and do some task which are for more than one asset. So for example, lubrication or inspection or anything else which we are doing like in one go. So let's say that technician is taking the can with the lubricate and it's going to do the lubrication for many assets at the same time. So how we can do it in the system? We can plan it, we can do one-offs as well, but if you would like to plan it, then we are going to round order plan. We need to put a category. So let's say, for example, lubrication, and then priority, that's our mandatory fields. And you see that we don't have, as on the work order plan, we had an asset number, but here in the round plans, we have little different. So how we know which assets we should take? The first one is that we can just put the list of assets. Right, so I can say I'm doing the lubrication for planetary mixer 44 and planetary mixers 52. Right, so this is what I can do, but this means that if you will get a new planetary mixer, it will not be a part of the round because we have only those assets, right? So that's one option how you can do it, and probably if you have 100 mixers, you don't want to do it manually, right? The other option is that you can add the assets from here, and then you specify the filter which you would like to add, and then the list will be populated automatically. But again, this is the static list, which means that if you will have a new planetary mixer, system will not know it and you will need to change the round plan. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes we would like to have it like a dynamic asset filter. So when we change the asset selection method to dynamic asset filter, we, instead of putting the number of asset, we can set filters. So if I will click and I will say that I would like to have all planetary mixers, so I will just choose one category, planetary mixers, and then I will see only planetary mixers, and I will see the field and filter which I have it. But how I know this is the assets which I really want, I can have the option here which is called show assets, and then I can see which assets will be in my round. As you can see, I don't have only planetary mixers, but someone make a mistake, and for each steel gear also put the planetary mixer category. So let's little change our filter, and I will just add filter to description field, right? And my description should start with P, letter P. So now let's see the assets. Okay, now I have only planetary mixers. That's great. So that's something which first we need to decide on the round. We need to say which assets are in the round. The second thing, which you already probably know from the work order plan, we need to decide when we will do the round. And we have two options here. One is a calendar, and the second one is one-off. So if we say one-off, it means that I would like to do this round on the specific date. But if I will choose calendar, I can click scheduled, and then I can decide I would like to do it every day, right? So, or I would like to do it every week on Thursday, Fridays, and Wednesdays, right? So that's what we need to tell to the system. Another thing, we should tell who will be doing our round and how much we estimate that it will take, right? So I can say that I will be doing the lubrication, and either I'm choosing that, okay, that will be lubrication, it will take 2 hours, or I even can specify the exact technician will be doing that. Just for a demo, I will choose someone that we will already have, that person. So let me just put that our lubrication will take 2 hours. So that we already have, but what about the items? So we need some lubrication liquid or whatever it is, oil, to do the lubrication. So I need to say, okay, I would need to have a lubrication oil, and I estimate that I will use 1 liter of oil for my all assets which are in my round, right? How system knows from which location I need to take it. Remember that it's little different than when we have one asset, and then we know exact location where the assets are, so we also know where our items should be purchased. But here we don't know where the assets are. It can be on one location, but it can be on many locations. That's why you can always fill the location code on the header. So I can say that I need to take my lubrication oil from my lubricant from the location H1. So let's release the work order round plan. So now we know what we need to do, which assets we need to do, when we will be doing that, and what resources and items are needed for our round. So the next step, the same as the work order plans, is that we need to plan it. So let me just delete this and calculate the plan. And as you can see here, we have our work order or round order plan. I'm using the same numbers as for the work order plans, but you can also have a different number of series, just in case if you would like to very easily distinguish the work orders and the round orders. The difference between work orders and round orders you also can see in the column asset number and asset description. As you can see, I don't have any asset number here because it's for many assets. So what I need to do, I will just accept the message. I can also specify if I would like to do this today, or I would like to change the plan date, but I will leave this one. So let's accept, oh, I didn't want to do that, so let me just only unmark those which I don't want to, and I will just carry out action message. My work order is created, so you can find the rounds on the same list as the work orders, right? So technicians have always the same list, so they don't need to go to 2 different lists, but always will see the same list. You can, of course, filter for example, only round orders. And you also can see that we don't have an asset number and asset description here. So if I will open the round order, it's little different than the work order. First of all, on the header, you can see the location code, right? But you also can see how many assets we have, how many we already finished, and how many are done and which one are skipped, right? So how many we have of them skipped. Our round, we doing going from asset to asset and doing our lubrication. So we see the whole list of assets which we need to do, where they are, which asset locations they have, and what we need to do is to specify if we did it or we skip it. We need to go through all assets and mark at least one. Either we done it, either we skip it. So I can say that I did this asset, but I skipped this asset. And then I went and do all of them as well. Why I skip it? Because mixer was working, so we didn't want to interrupt it. As you can see, my all assets are 7. I completed 100% because I done or skipped something, and I have 6 done, 1 is skipped. If you have all assets, a lot of assets, what you can do easily, you can just mark those ones which are skipped, but later you can mark all which are done with this action here. So we also know that we used 2 hours on this work order, on this round. We can, for example, say that we used more or less, and we also used 1 liter of oil for the lubrication lubricant. You can also print the round order, right? So if I will just show you the preview of the round order, you will see that I have my header, but I also have my all assets, and I have columns done or skipped. If I haven't filled it, you can fill it manually and then put it in the system. When I will post the round order, so let me post it, you will see that we also post the work order ledger entry and item ledger entry, but in a little different way than we are doing it for the work order. So you can see that my time was split equally for my resource for each asset. So in the work order ledger entries, you will see exact asset which was done. We don't show the skipped ones, but we also show how much time approximately someone spent, and the same with the items. So we split it, as you can see, 0.17 is something which we used for each asset, and on the last one, because we used 1 liter, so if we will do the summary, that's whole liter for us. And so this is how the rounds work. We also would like to show you today the inspections, because inspections are very similar to the rounds, and we also put them in the same place, right? So the difference on the inspection, and this is part of our safe work module, so you can use it if you have a safe work module, is that if you specify the proper category code of our work order categories, let me just open this one. You can specify that this category is inspection. What does it mean? Then we can also use the checklists on our rounds. We cannot do it if you don't have our safe work module. So I can also put a default inspections and default forms which we have, and we have 3 different types of forms which you can assign on the round order. One is what form should be specified before the round, and I can just check it here. In my organization, they said that I should specify when exact time is when I started and what is the date when the inspection started, and also what are the general comments before the inspection. Remember that these fields which you see here is something which you can very easily add and customize for your specific needs. So someone doing the round and inspection will need to fill those questions before. The same, we can also specify what are the questions which someone need to fill after finishing the round or finishing the inspection. And in this case, I need to do the time, but I also can put the overall comments. But the most important is that for each step of my inspection, so for each exact asset, I also need to specify some questions and answer that, for example, mixer is cleaned, there is no leaks on the tank, and the oil leaks, if it's a drum leaks, and operation manual is in place, emergency stop is stop functioning, right? So those questions you can easily add by yourself. And the situation with the assets selections is working exactly the same as you've seen with the rounds, but you have additional column here. So instead of using this form, which is specified here, you can specify exact inspection checklist for this particular asset, which can be different than for all other assets, right? So that those are the differences. I can also set up that we are doing the inspections every day, and I didn't put who is doing that, but we will set up it later. So I have my inspection. Let's create a work order or inspection order in this case, but it will be on the same list for the inspections as a work orders. So inspection of planetary mixer, it's already here, so I will just only approve it and I will carry out the message. Okay. So when I will now open the work orders, and I still can filter on the round orders, I have my inspection of planetary mixer. Let's click it. And as you can see now, I have some messages that I need to fill the checklist before, I need to fill the checklist after, and each of these checklists is also not completed. So to close it, I need to fill all of them. So let's start from the first one. So before a round, let me just only edit this one. Before the round, let's click. Okay, I need to do it at 16:30. Let's say I started, and I started it on 16. I will not put any comments for it. So I'm ready to start before round. The inspection before round is already finished. So now I'm going to each asset and I saying the specific things. So the mixer is cleaned, there is no leaks, any oil is leaked, there is no leaks, and the RAM leaks, operation manual in place. I know that I have a mistake here, but complete, right? And now I need to do it for each of my step. Of course, I can also skip, so I can say this asset is not working and is in a workshop, right? So I don't need to fill this particular asset, but I need to fill all others. So let me just only very quickly do it. So I will just, oh, this one has a leaks, so let's put it. And then this one have everything, and so on, so on. So as you can see, I really need to do it for all my assets. I will just go very quickly and just complete this one as well. Right. So when we finish that, I can just go and do that. I close all of them because I need to finish my assets. Good. Now I would be able to post, but I also need to fill this checklist. So I will say that I finish it at 5 p.m. Okay, and I can close it. So now I can post it and close, but of course I need to put who did it. So it was Doi and he spent 1 hour. All right, so how I also can check the inspection if there was anything for the asset, and very quickly I will just go to my any of my planetary mixers, right? So for example, number 44, and one thing which I also can see is a forms. If I will open the form, I can see the completed inspections for the asset. So I can click answers and see what were the answers. As we can see, I put those answers for this asset, but I also can open the document directly from here. So I can see my posted round order and I can see how it was done. And by clicking clicking this button, I also can see that what was the answers. All right, that was all about the rounds and inspections which we have. So please only remember that inspections are part of the safe work module and rounds are part of EAM, and you can use them also for free. If you are interested in our topics which we already had, this is what you can find on our website. We already covered those topics, and we already have also the upcoming webinar, which will be last in the series, but we are already starting starting planning the next series. So stay tuned and look what we will also show you in the future. Next time we will have a failure registration, and this is 2nd of March. So thank you very much. If you will have any questions, please let me know and I will be able to answer them. Thank you very much.